You're listening to the Delaware Real Estate Show.
All right, folks, it's time to plug the folks that are supporting our show. www.uselldelaware.com. That's USELLDE.com. If you're going to sell real estate on your own, do it with the help of a consultant. God help you if you're on your own out there. It's a tough world. DelawareVideography.com. Virtual tours for realtors and video for everyone. DelawareLawnService.com. Delaware's #1 fine arts landscaper. DelawareTreeService.com. Delaware Tree Service is Delaware's finest arborists at your service. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, emergency service available. All right, so we're back. Round 3 here with Brian O'Rourke from the Real Estate Book and myself, Al Escobar.
Thanks, Al.
Thanks for being here today. One of the big things that's been in the news all week, and I keep referring back to national and bigger stuff when this is the Delaware Real Estate Show. I do this because it affects what's coming in Delaware. So I like to try and, since we're paying attention to this stuff and we're learning about it, try and get ahead of the curve at the same time. There's a lot of talk about the debt ceiling that our country has, and it seems like that we are about to hit it. Don't we have enough debt?
I think that's one of our main problems in this country. Too much debt.
But isn't that what our whole country is based on, is debt?
Currently, yes. We need to turn that around a little bit.
I agree. So should we raise the debt ceiling or should we not raise it?
Well, we should raise it with conditions. Should be some type of a trade-off on current spending versus how much we're going to raise the debt ceiling. If we have to raise the debt ceiling, so be it, but we need to trade off with some other programs that may not be as effective or efficient.
I mean, aren't we just, if by raising the debt ceiling and not addressing these real issues now, aren't we just putting a Band-Aid on a broken arm? Aren't we just prolonging the inevitable? I mean, I'd rather bite the bullet now and get this stuff fixed so that my kids don't have to deal with it too much. No matter what we do at this point, I think our kids are going to have to deal with this, if not our grandkids.
I agree with that. I wish that it weren't the case that they say they have to raise it. I would rather not do it. I'd rather slash and burn and cut some programs. We already are in a mess, so I
heard somebody say last week they were going off about the mortgage interest deduction and raising the debt ceiling, and they were saying, don't we need problem solvers in Washington instead of these debt-raising spenders that everybody's electing? It seems like they tell you one thing, and then when you get them in office, they do something else. But, isn't that the game? It's, okay, the game now is to get reelected. Okay, the game now is to... what the hell is the game once they get into the game there? I don't know what's going on over there. Do I have to get elected to get involved here, Brian? What's going on?
Well, throw your name in the ring, everybody else is as well. But
again, I'm ignorant to a lot of this stuff, and I say that jokingly, but I don't know a lot about it. But the more I dig into it, the more interesting it seems. Like some of the effects that it would have if the debt ceiling was not raised. And first thing on my list is what you said. What's the first thing you think would happen if they did not raise the debt ceiling?
Interest rates would go up.
Interest rates would go up. And what's that going to do to the Delaware real estate market?
Well, a short burst in interest rates going up may move some people off the fence, so it may be beneficial, but I'm talking about maybe a point. When you're talking about, going up to 10, 11, 12, 13% interest rates,
and that
would crush the real estate industry that's already struggling.
People don't realize that. And that would bring into a whole nother wave of foreclosures and problems, because the people that have these adjustable rate mortgages have not really seen anything but a benefit because the rates have come down. When those rates go up and their payment goes up, that could cause, that could certainly cause another wave of problems.
Yep, unintended consequence, and people definitely are not aware of that.
What happens when the U.S. isn't able to, when they default on bond interest?
Well, my understanding is that that's not going to happen. We have more than enough income coming in as it is from regular tax revenue to cover all interest
on bonds.
That's due.
How about foreign debts, other debts, if we default on those? These are just some of the effects of no debt ceiling raise that I read up on.
My understanding is foreign and domestic. I could be wrong about that, but my understanding is that there's more than enough to cover that.
Why do we need to raise the debt ceiling? That's what I can't figure out.
Because the politicians won't make the hard choices and cut any programs.
Yeah, it's just so it's just easier for them to go ahead and raise the debt ceiling and print more money and
it is easier.
From what I read, it looked to me like that the interest rates would go up. The U.S. would certainly default on some, not all, but some of their bond interest that they had to pay. They would default on certain foreign debts, and it would hurt our credit rating as a country.
Yeah, that may all be true, but a lot of other countries, Europe in particular, are going through, basically they're in worse shape than we are. So, no, not that you want to go through any of these scenarios, but they're in worse shape than we are. So we need to take a lesson and a model from what's going on over there and take care of our business here on our end. We have the opportunity to do that right now with this debt ceiling debate.
So what are they doing different that we could do?
Well, it's what they didn't do. They let their debt get out of control, and their economies are worse than ours in many cases. Greece and Ireland, they're just really in bad shape. And we're in bad shape, but not quite as bad as them. So we need to take a lesson out of what's going on over there.
Is there such a thing as world bankruptcy? I mean, is the United States going to file world bankruptcy and start this all over, or?
Yeah, it's not going to happen. I mean, we have enough tax revenue coming in, is my understanding, to keep it going for quite a while.
Now that Osama bin Laden has been killed, and maybe they're going to be pulling back in other countries that we're in with military. I don't know if that'll happen or not, but I think there's a lot of military spending that could be reduced. I know a lot of people are against reducing military spending, but we need to cut our budget anywhere we can, I think, right now, so that we don't have to raise a debt ceiling and address these issues and get our debt down. Everything's
on the table. I'm sure there's some areas in military that could be cut down in one area or another, so that is on the table. I know that. I don't know what the situation's going to be going forward militarily. I'm all for. I think whatever they need to do, they need to grit their teeth and try to fix this now rather than pass this on to our children. Yeah, people understand that around the country. They understand that we're in a bad way and tough choices need to be made. So this upcoming election is going to focus a lot of people on picking a candidate that is aligned with that reality. So I have something new this week we're going to try. It's called the oxymoron of the week. I don't know how many of these we're going to get to play out, but I'm sure if we look hard enough, we'll probably find a few oxymorons out there. But John Bonner said that while America cannot default on its debts, we all cannot continue to borrow recklessly, dig ourselves deeper into this hole, and mortgage the future of our children and grandchildren. I mean, he's saying that we got to raise our debt ceiling so that we don't default on our debts. That's what he was referring to. He was referring to the debt ceiling, raising it. We have to raise it. We cannot default on debts. That's the pitch that they're giving the American people and their constituents to back them and support them in this. And then he turns around in the same sentence. It's not a period between it. It's a comma. He says, we all, referring to the people now, cannot continue to borrow recklessly, dig ourselves deeper into this hole, and mortgage the future of our children and grandchildren. He's saying we cannot afford to default on our debts. And that's true. We can't default on our debts, and we won't default on our debts. There's more than enough money coming in. Mr. Boehner, he's going to be the one leading the negotiation on the Republican side, and he's, as far as I understand, going to be as part of their agreement. There's going to have to be major reductions to to some programs in order to approve that debt ceiling,
Some spending cuts.
some spending cuts.
I think that's the only way we're going to get this down, is to get in there and get some problem solvers in Washington, like we have here in Delaware, who are actually trying to help the people that are hurt the most, and just whittle this down and get a better system. Times have changed. Things have changed. The old way is out the door, you know. If we continue to do things the way we've always done, we will be like the dinosaurs someday.
That's right.
And gone.
We have an opportunity right now to address the situation.
So write to your local congressman and your state representatives and tell them how you feel about the debt ceiling, the mortgage interest deduction, and all the great things that affect you and the real estate industry here in Delaware. So Brian, I want to thank you for stopping out today, telling us about the real estate book.
Thank you very much, Al.
Discussing the wonderful world of real estate with us. Hey, there was a guy up in Newark. You're from that area, aren't you?
Yeah, I do the book up in Newcastle County.
Agent shows up to a house to do a showing. He was alarmed by somebody who he thought, because the property he thought was vacant. He was alarmed by a gentleman that he saw, and I say gentleman loosely, wearing a mask of some sort, and he smelled a strong chemical odor. So what did the agent do? What do you think he did? Did you read this?
No, I didn't read it.
What do you think he did?
Hopefully he turned around and walked out the door.
He ran out the house. He called the police and reported a meth lab.
Okay.
Multiple police, fire, and other hazmat units showed up within minutes, evacuated the people that lived in the area to discover that it's the cleaning guy.
Oh, no.
So, if you walk into a house as an agent and you find somebody in there while you're running out the door, please say, "Who are you? What's going on?" Maybe he's got an explanation before you go calling and reporting a meth lab. So, that's our duh of the week. Again with me is Brian O'Rourke of the Real Estate Book. What is the website again, Brian?
www.realestatebook.com.
And this is Al Escobar with alescobar.com and Remax Real Estate signing off. Thanks and have a great week.